Hello and welcome. If you are currently leading a team or you think you're going to be leading a team in the future, then you will want to stay tuned for this. I am going to show you how to make your strategy measurable, to keep your team accountable, proactive, and goal obsessed. If you're enjoying this content, please do click the like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to The Art of Teams. Now I want you to imagine this. Imagine your team right now with clarity. And at any given moment, they have crystal clear vision of exactly where they are in relation to their goals. On top of that, your team is empowered. They are accountable and they are proactive about bringing their goals to reality. Now let's break that down. When we say accountable, what we mean is that everybody on the team takes ownership for the work that is being done by the team. You have got individual ownership, but you've got as well collective ownership from the team, collective accountability. Now, what does this mean? This means that your team is comfortable supporting each other when things are great, but also challenging each other when things aren't so great. And people may not be doing their best work to get the team from where they are right now to their desired state or their goal. So as you can see, accountability is twofold. It's on the individual level and it's also on the team level. It means transparency on the status of all projects and initiatives that the team is in charge of. It also means that your team is autonomous. They're able to recognize when there's a problem and self-organize to address the problem. No spoon feeding, no hiding under the rug. Now that's a great place to be. And if you don't have this, there may be a few things that's running through your mind right now. You might be thinking, hey, when I think of our way of working, it really is not aligned to our growth ambitions. In fact, it might be hampering and hindering us from growth. You might also be asking yourself, are we succeeding in spite of ourselves? And obviously that's not a great place to be. If the way you're working isn't aligned to your growth ambitions, then things are okay now, but you're really not robust enough to deal with challenges of the future. So that needs to be sorted, and you know this. So let's look a little bit deeper into this to see how this feeling, how it really manifests day to day in the life of the team, and the questions you may be asking yourself as a leader as well. So what does it feel like? From a management perspective, it can feel like the team has not internalized the strategy. In fact, you'd probably be surprised if they remembered one or two things from it. There is no sense of urgency to course correct when progress slows or things come to a halt. Despite the reports we create, we really don't know what's going on. We don't know how we're doing as a team. It feels like as the manager, you're constantly chasing, reminding, and prompting your team to do things you believe should be automatic. Now, what would happen if this continues? Productivity continues to slide, and the team will struggle to bring it back on track. Infighting starts because no one knows who's really responsible for what. Results slip and cast a shadow on the future of the team as it stands, making people nervous and unwilling to take risks. The team's reputation may start to rot, making cross-functional work and collaboration with other departments painful. This is urgent. You cannot grow like this. This type of team is like a castle built upon the sand. It's not resilient. It is unstable. All you need is one little wave and it's all wiped out. Your team needs to be the castle built upon the rocks. Robust and resilient to change, moderate waves, and the occasional gale force wind. So here's a big question. How do we create our strategy so that it gives our team clarity and empowers them to be proactive and accountable? We need simplicity. We need metrics. The ideal scenario is that anyone and everyone in your organization should be able to just pick up your strategy and understand what it means. That's what we mean by simplicity. To make real progress, all goals and objectives need to drive tangible results, tangible, definitive results in a given time frame. We also need to be able to measure or progress against those goals once we begin to work on them. We use this to drive action, accountability, and collaboration. Performance metrics. That's what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about 3 elements for measuring progress. They are goals or objectives, key results, and key performance indicators. Best practice is to be SMART. SMART, the acronym. All goals, objectives, and activity in general should really be SMART. SMART meaning specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Every single directive from your team should be written in the SMART way. Now let's get into what each of these elements mean. What's a goal or objective? As you may have noticed, I have been using these terms interchangeably. And that's because in my experience, once you write goals or objectives in a SMART way, they become the same thing. It's a desired future state for the team or organization. It is what you will be working towards. In one word, it's your destination. It gives people a sense of purpose and direction. All tasks and activities and initiatives and projects, everything that the team does is to achieve this goal or objective. A well-defined and accepted goal or objective gets everyone in the team rowing in the same direction. So my top tip here, ensure your goals and objectives are SMART. Here's an example of a goal or objective. Bake and decorate a 3-tier chocolate birthday cake for my best friend by 6 p.m. tomorrow using my auntie's recipe. And by the way, if this was a real project scenario or I'm working with a team, I wouldn't say tomorrow. I would put the exact date in. But for this video's purposes, because I don't want to say a date and it doesn't work with the date you're watching the video and all of that stuff. So just work with me here for this example. So that's the goal. It's SMART. Let me tell you why. Specific. Chocolate birthday cake using my auntie's recipe. Measurable. 3 tiers. I know the size of the cake that I'm baking. And I guess you could make it more specific here, make it more measurable by saying it needs to serve 24 people or whatever, but you get my drift. Achievable. Can it be done? Yes, I can do it. I've got all the things I need to get this done. Relevant. It is relevant. I'm gonna do it because I can do it and it's my friend's birthday and I said I was gonna do it. So it's relevant. Time bound by 6 p.m. tomorrow. So we gotta crack on. So now we know what a goal or objective is, how it needs to be defined, and what the purpose of it is. Let's move to the next metric, which is key results. So you may have heard of key results being called OKRs, objectives and key results. Because we broke down goals and objectives as the same thing, I'm just gonna cut to the chase and stick to the key results piece. So what is a key result? A key result can be described as a milestone. It is a marker of progress against your goal. It too is SMART. But here's the difference. If your goal is to bake and decorate a 3-tier chocolate birthday cake for your best friend using your auntie's recipe by 6 p.m. tomorrow, then a key result would be get auntie's recipe by 10 a.m. tomorrow. If you get the recipe at 12 p.m. tomorrow, you know you're off track and you need to make up for the time. As you can see, this level of detail is perfect for high-level reporting, so people know how you're getting on. If your mother called and asked, how's the cake coming along? You would summarize by telling her, let's say your 3 key results: get recipe, bake cake, decorate cake, 3 milestones, and which key result or which milestone you're at right now. So let's say you got the recipe early. Yeah, mom, I've got the recipe from auntie a couple hours ago, so I am ahead of time. In a team setting, it gives stakeholders just the right level of information so that they're in the know, they're informed. They don't want the low level detail, they want the high level milestones. This is what key results give you. Perfect for high level reporting. Let's imagine we didn't have the key results get the recipe by 10 a.m. tomorrow. As far as we're concerned, on deadline day at 12 p.m. and we haven't got the recipe, we're still on track because it's not the end of the day yet, it's not 6 p.m. and we haven't missed the deadline, so we're all good. Without adequate progress markers, without milestones, without key results, we don't know if we're off track until it's too late. And this is the power of having key results. So key takeaways of this section: we need key results to understand where we are in relation to the end goal, their milestones. And key results are perfect for reporting project progress to stakeholders who just need to be informed. High-level reporting, key results, that's what you use. Now, the last metric for measuring results: key performance indicators, more popularly known as KPIs. KPIs are the lowest metric for measuring performance. They are entirely quantitative, meaning they're represented as numbers only. They're used to measure everything from goals and objectives down to key results. They track your progress over time in a quantitative way. In our cake baking scenario, an example of a KPI would be the time it takes to complete a task, or the average time it takes to complete a task. Now, let's say you're loving this cake baking gig and you want to do it as a business. You need a system to fulfill your orders and have realized that you've got to figure out how long it takes you to ice a 3-tier cake on average. So you've been having a strong week, and in the past week, you have baked 10 3-tier cakes. You've iced 10 3-tier cakes. And your average icing time is 30 minutes per cake. That's how long it takes you to complete the task of icing a cake. So now you've decided to hire more staff. As time goes on and you're tracking your metrics, the average time it takes to ice the cake has now moved from 30 minutes to 45 minutes per cake. Meaning your productivity has dropped by 50%. You notice the change and investigate. And you figure out what the problem is. I mean, you notice that the cake bakers are using icing that's a little bit too cold, and so it's taking them longer to ice the cake because the icing's too cold. And you decide to intervene in the process to ensure that they take out the icing before they need to ice the cake so that it's the right temperature and they can start icing the cake quicker. And by changing this process, your metrics go back on track and everyone's now icing the cakes at 30 minutes per cake. As you can see, KPIs are great for spotting subtle issues like this. It allows you to course correct quickly because you have the data. Similarly, you could use KPIs to spot where you could improve. Maybe it wasn't, okay, now we're icing way slower than we were before, but you might feel that there's an opportunity to move even faster than 30 minutes. You might ask yourself, what would happen if we could ice cakes in 25 minutes and scale up from there? It could mean a lot of income for your business. So this is the importance of KPIs, tracking these subtleties over time and allowing you to make process changes that are relevant to the productivity and profitability of your team and business. When it comes to business, here's some other examples of KPIs. We've got revenue growth, customer acquisition costs, customer lifetime value, employee satisfaction, and net promoter score. They are just some of the KPIs that can be measured in a business. You need to choose which KPIs are appropriate for the work that your team is doing and the work your business is doing. What's important to you? You want to track that. So we've covered a lot here. Let's wrap up. Performance metrics start with your goal, then your key results, and then your KPIs. Here's some best practice for next steps. You need to ensure that your metrics are based on clean data and that you're collecting clean data, or at least you're able to clean the data pretty easily. That this data is displayed as a regular report, or even better, live or live-ish, meaning it's updated once a week. A dashboard. This dashboard will be a graphical representation of the data that gives insights to your employees, to your team. Give everyone access to your dashboard. Refer to the dashboard regularly, for example, in weekly team meetings. As the manager or leader of the team, ensure that you are making decisions based on the data from the dashboards and the insights from the dashboard. And make sure that your team is seeing this. What we mean by this is if a decision needs to be made, a new project needs to be launched, or you need to take on new stuff, that decision is being informed by the data on the dashboard. It's the data that's pushing us in that direction. By showing this data-driven behavior as a leader or manager, it encourages and empowers your team to do the same. This will empower them to proactively self-organize and solve problems using the metrics from the performance dashboard. The end goal of the team will also guide them, as well as something that we haven't spoken about previously in this video, but we have in other videos, the values of the team. Here's an example of that, and I'm just going to give you a hypothetical example here. This company is called the Good Mushroom Corp, and it's defined its strategy as a company over the next 5 years. And then they've asked all of their teams, their departments, to go and organize and put together their own team strategies for the next 12 months. So the marketing team now is putting together their strategy. Goal. Over the next 12 months, the marketing team at Good Mushroom Corp aims to increase its website traffic by 50% and improve the website's conversion by 20%. This is great, the goal is smart. Now time for the key results. They decide to organize their key results in quarters. So they graphically represent these key results by quarter. So what KPIs are they going to be tracking? They're going to be tracking website traffic, the website conversion rate, as well as revenue growth for the company. The key takeaways from this are to have a measurable strategy that keeps your team accountable and proactive. You need to have performance metrics. You need to have defined your goals or objectives in a smart fashion. You need key results and you need KPIs. You also need to ensure that you're modeling data-driven behavior as a manager or a leader in the team. This will empower the team to make decisions in that way. Self-organize and be proactive in solving problems based on the data that they are seeing. This is the power of performance metrics, and this is how you get your strategy to be completely actionable. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, check out our other videos in the strategy series. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.